Hey, my name is Rob Bunch, and this course is a 10-day blitz to learning Python for new programmers. I won't assume you know anything. We are going to start from the very beginning. I've been a software engineer for about 20 years, architect, whatever, and I've been teaching people how to code for about 10 years. And of those 10 years, I have come to prefer what is known as the Myrn Stack. That's what I prefer to teach to new developers. This focuses around JavaScript. Okay, you probably have run across Myrn at some point. You definitely have seen JavaScript if you're interested in learning how to program. There's a lot of reasons for this, but the main reason is because there seem to be the most opportunity for new people in full stack and front end jobs, and that's what prepares people well for this. The problem with teaching Myrn Stack is I don't like teaching JavaScript as a first language. Maybe as a second, right? But definitely not a first. JavaScript is very strange. Again, there's a lot of reasons for this. It's not super important, but it is asynchronous, right? The main thing is that that's not how normal people think. It has a weird syntax that's not normal, and the paradigm is completely different than a normal programming language because it started off in the browser back in 1995. So JavaScript, I love it. I use it all the time. I typically program in the Myrn if all things are equal, and it doesn't make any difference what I choose, but it's not a good language to start with. Okay? Python alleviates all of those things. Python is synchronous. It will be much easier to sort of follow the code to make sense out of what is happening. The syntax is so much easier to read, and it follows a traditional paradigm of inheritance. Don't worry about what inheritance is, but Python is a very normal language. Okay, so you probably fall in one of three camps if you're watching this. One, you want to be a Python developer. Or I should say, you think you might want to be a Python developer. If you know you do, you probably already signed up for an 80-hour course. 10 days or 10 modules will give you a good taste for what Python is capable of when we get to the end, and you'll know if you want to move on. You will not master Python, but you will get a good understanding of how programming works and what Python is capable of. Second group, you might just want to add something to your resume, right? A new skill. And I can't think of hardly anything that's going to be better to add than this, right? Putting that you know Python in your resume, almost no matter what your skill is, that is going to be valuable. The third group would be someone like me, maybe even me, but someone like me told you that Python is the best first language to learn, and then you can move on to JavaScript or C Sharp or Java or Golang or whatever your thing is. If you fall into any of those buckets, you are in a good place, right? This is the correct course to try out. Okay, we're going to start off with a lot of the basics, so that'll be the first section that we do. Is we cover lots of things that you would expect to cover in a programming course, and then we are going to do some game programming. Okay, I love teaching games, not just because they keep us motivated, right? There's nothing more boring than looking at a black and white screen with just text on it and trying to make sense out of it. Programming games is fun, but more than that, it will absolutely exhaust your toolkit, right? Whatever you can do as a developer, it will draw out of you. And I'm going to draw real quick a triangle. The programming, I'm going to call it hierarchy, is not what probably you would prefer it to be. The stuff at the top is the stuff that is maybe what you get a job with. So it's going to be things like, I'll put up here, React. Okay, that's how you get a job. But the things down at the bottom are going to be more like if-then statements, or loops, or security, right? The most basic things that make up programming. Things above that are then going to be Python and JavaScript. Eventually, Python and JavaScript will get replaced with something else. It might be 50 years, but eventually something better will come along, right? This bottom layer is not going to get replaced. This top layer is going to get replaced very quickly. Games focus almost entirely on this bottom section, where it will teach you how data structures work, how conditionals, how loops, all of the good stuff that will make you a good programmer and position you well to move forward with Python if that's what you choose, or with some other language if that's what you choose. Okay? I hope you stick around. It's going to be a really fun course. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.